It's the book club for kids.
It's the book club for kids.
It's the book club for kids.
It's the Book Clubs for Kid podcast.
Hi, I'm Kitty Felde. It's that time of year, Halloween.
I'm a vampire. He stops before you. Your wild, racing heart skips a beat. It can't be true. This is reality, not folklore.
That's our celebrity reader, journalist and actress Hettie Lynne Hurtes, reading from M.C. Ryder's tale of romance, betrayal, and creatures of the night, the darkest side of the moon. Our writer says she follows the mantra, write what you know.
There's part of me in her character in the high school setting. She's a loner. I, too, was kind of a loner. I stayed to myself.
Our readers are from Rosecrans Elementary in Compton, California. So would you like to live in a world that has vampires and werewolves? This is the Book Club for Kids, the show where kids talk about books. We'll tell you how you can be on the show a little later on, but first, let's meet our readers.
Hello, my name is Hajime.
Hello, my name is Yasmin.
Hello, my name is Anali.
Hello, my name is Sophia. And we are all 7th graders at Rosecrans Elementary in Compton, California. The name of the book is The Darkest Side of the Moon, and it's written by M.C. Ryder.
The book is about a girl going through a teenage journey and then falling into a fantasy world with vampires and werewolves.
So who's our main character?
Nadine, she is a high school girl. She's barely in her senior year, and this new guy appears, and she doesn't really like him.
One of the main characters is also Vince. He's also a vampire. He likes Nadine, but she doesn't like him back, and he just is in love with her. Camille, that's her best friend. She likes Vince, but Vince doesn't like her.
If you were to describe this book, how would you describe it?
If we're talking genres, I would describe this as a kind of modern, but also kind of fantasy and action kind of book.
It's also in the romance genre.
We have 3 young ladies here and 1 young man. Is this a girl book?
There's a little, Wattpad scene that would be kind of embarrassing for him to read. So it's kind of a girl book, but at the same time, it is also for boys.
It depends, I think, of what you like more.
Basically.
Well, it takes a while before the vampires show up. Did you guys know exactly what it was going to be when you started the book?
No. I kind of had a feeling. That Vince was a vampire.
You do not.
I had a feeling.
This book is written in an unusual way in that it's second person. Mm-hmm. Describe what that means.
It describes it as you do this and you go here and you this instead of Nadine or saying me. So that's why it's like in second person.
Have you ever read a book that's been written in second person before?
No, I haven't. This is my first time.
Yeah. How was that? I mean, how was that reading experience?
Unique.
Now, this book kind of reminded me of another series of books and movies that are out there, the Twilight series, which, I mean, you have to compare the two because it's such a famous series. So how does it compare? How is it different?
I've never really watched or read the books of Twilight, but I do know the plot as my sister watched it. And I can really compare it because of vampires and werewolves, a love triangle-ish thing.
How I would compare it with Twilight is it follows the same path from modern to fantasy. There's another reason why I would compare it, because in the movie, one of the main characters, I'm pretty sure, transitions from a human to a vampire, just like Nadine.
Well, let's hear a bit from the book where somebody is trying to make our heroine's memories disappear. Our celebrity reader is journalist and actress Hettie Lynne Hurtes.
I'm a vampire. He stops before you. Your wild, racing heart skips a beat. It can't be true. This is reality, not folklore. A nightmare you just didn't wake up from yet. I'm not here to hurt you. He takes a step forward. You swallow hard. Just drain me of my blood, right? No. He shakes his head before moving in swift and placing a firm grip on your upper arms, staring directly into your eyes. Nothing significant happened tonight. I am not a vampire. There is nothing suspicious about me. You will continue to dislike me because I am rude and arrogant. He just threw your own words back in your face. Had that been something else Camille told him? Or had he overheard it? "Get off of me," you shout, kneeing him between the legs, only to realize that was a mistake, and wince. His frown overshadows his grimace. "You still remember?" Doesn't just magically go away. You twist out of his grasp and fall onto the snow-covered ground. "What all did you have to eat today?" "What?" You pant, flabbergasted. "Would that make the difference why it didn't work?" "Why, what didn't work?" "Compulsion." You stiffen before your face contorts from shock to that of anger as you lurch to your feet and take a swing. You are prepared to fight tooth and nail for your life. "I wouldn't." He is quick to catch your right wrist inches from his face. "Don't touch me!" You reel back as if his touch burns you. With fury you swing your left arm, which he catches as well. Infuriated, you stomp down on his right foot and again learn it's a mistake. It's like stomping down on a concrete floor. No impact. Now you're starting to realize why he's been preventing you from punching him. You can only imagine what your hand would feel like afterwards. "Calm down." "Calm down? Calm down? Don't tell me to calm down," you scream in his face. "You should go home." "Don't tell me what to do." "We'll talk later." He removes his jacket and places it over your shoulders before fading away. You look all around, but he's gone. You divert your attention to the jacket upon your shoulders. Despite wanting to shrug it off, you pull it tighter. Your sweater does not repel the snow, and your arms are soaked and cold. You're mildly disappointed there is no body heat to absorb.
So do you guys like fantasy? You're nodding. Tell me why.
I think because it takes you to another dimension and it describes things that wouldn't really happen in real life. So I think that's unique in its own way.
As she said, I really like how fantasy takes place. I honestly do like a fantasy genre a lot, so I like reading fantasy a lot. So this was a really good book, in my opinion.
Oh, there was a great line in this book saying that people don't deserve pets. What does that mean? And what does that mean to you?
The reason why I said people don't deserve pets is some people aren't fitted to take care of pets. They sometimes neglect them.
Do you guys agree with that statement?
I do, because I myself have a pet and I feel like they care and love for you, and you should show the same affection for them as they do to you and not neglect them and do other stuff to them.
So would you like to live in a world that has vampires and werewolves?
No, I don't think so. It looks fun, but also very dangerous.
I would agree with Yasmin over here. It would also be really chaotic trying to look over your neck all the time, making sure no vampire's behind you trying to suck on your neck.
It would be interesting to live in a world with both vampires and werewolves. It would be both fun and worth the experience. But then again, as those two pointed out, it would be extremely dangerous. So in a dream, maybe, but not in real life.
I would say the same thing, because it's scary, but it would be nice, but it would be scary at the same time.
Talk about Nadine's best friend. Do we like her? Do we not like her?
I would say.
No.
Okay. I would say at first she seems like a nice person, but later on, as shown or as read, Camille betrays Nadine and Mark.
She betrays her more at the middle of the story.
I also agree with what Sophia said, because Camille, she betrayed Nadine basically because of Vince, I guess. And in my opinion, you shouldn't let a boy become between you.
Well, let's talk about that. So, you guys are 7th graders. You're probably not dating at this point, right? No, okay. But this is about relationships. So, was there anything besides, learning to not turn your back on a vampire, other kinds of lessons that you might be able to carry with you on relationships and dating?
It basically kind of tells that be careful who you choose, because the worst thing about betrayal is it never comes from an enemy or someone you don't trust. I would say Vince and Nadine's relationship. It seems like one-sided because Vince seems to show all the affection while Nadine does not care. But that's other hands with Mark.
So what does that tell you? What does that tell you?
That tells me Nadine so far doesn't like Vince, but her care for Mark is different than Vince, kind of like a double-sided dagger. Vince likes Nadine, as said in the book, but Nadine doesn't like Vince. She likes Mark.
Does that happen a lot with girls?
For me, not really. For me, for the friendships I've been, a boys never come in between. Once it was kind of, but like not really, because me and my friend like the same guy, but we didn't let it could come in between us. We just both talked about him and knew we wouldn't even get a chance because we were so young.
In my experience, no, because, well, we all have different tastes, and we'll say one, oh, no, I don't like him. Oh, but I like him. But in, well, like, some I would say yes, but not in my experience.
I don't think I would ever let a boy come between me and my best friend because, as Yasmin said, we both have different tastes, like very different tastes. And if I like someone, she'll say, no, they're ugly. And if and she likes someone, I'll say, no, they're ugly.
Because we're friends, we always think that the guy that they like is not good enough for them. Because we're best friends, that's what we do.
Do you guys have some questions for our writer, MC Ryder?
Why did you write it in second person? Like, was there like a meaning behind it or like a unique writing style, basically?
That's easy. So I actually wrote it originally in third person narrative. Wasn't liking it, it didn't vibe. And I decided to do a little research into second person narrative and found out, because I've read books in first person and third person, but I've never read anything in second person narrative. So I researched it, found out what to do, how to write in that style, decided to try it, and it seemed to make my story pop, so I stuck with it.
They experienced this, like, when they were younger?
Nadine, I relate with her because she essentially, there's part of me in her character in the high school setting. She's a loner. I, too, was kind of a loner. I stayed to myself. But I also stood up for people against bullies. I didn't tolerate that. And then she's a little bit stronger and her character growth precedes me. But, they say write what you know. So I know myself best. So I put, my qualities of me into her character and had them, grow.
What encouraged you to write this story and what encouraged you to become an author?
So what encouraged me to become a writer, since I was a little girl and around the 4th grade, I started writing because I loved reading books. And there came a point where I just wasn't reading what I wanted to read. I was getting tired of the same predictable plots in the story, so I decided just to write what I wanted to read. It was trial and error in the beginning, and then I didn't really finish them. I had writer's block along the way. When COVID came into the world, I went back to revisit The Darkest Side of the Moon, which was actually 10 years in the making.
Okay, so now we ask our toughest question. What is your favorite book? And why do you love it?
For me, I really like the mangas of anime, but if I had to choose one, I'd say the Attack on Titan mangas. Because I really like the action and the gore that happens in the story.
The reason why I like Because of Winn Dixie is the plot and the story and how it unravels. And it also shows how good friends that you can trust go through hard trials.
I think my favorite books would have to be Harry Potter, the whole collection. Even though I've never read the whole collection, I've seen the movies, so I feel like that's influenced on that. I like it because it tells a story and how he's the chosen one, and it's interesting.
My favorite book is called Beyond the Story. It's like about a boy group, a boy band. They're in BTS, I'm pretty sure you know. And it gives more like background, like what happened during their 10 years.
Mm-hmm. Well, what about you, MC Ryder? What is your favorite book?
So my favorite book, I'll go with Iris Johansen, The Search. Back when I was a teenager growing up, I read that and I enjoyed it. I reread it again, and I didn't enjoy it as much as when I read it the first time, but I still like Iris Johansen's or her Eve Duncan series, but I definitely like The Search because it had a dog, and I love dogs. It had Sarah Patrick. She was like a canine dog trainer, and I love that aspect. And then she was, independent woman, strong, and didn't, a guy in her life, and, and then Logan, he kind of made things difficult, but I liked the arc where she, stayed away from him, but then they had to work together, and then they, had a romance blossom there. But she didn't really need a guy. She was fine on her own, but she enjoyed having Logan as company.
I'm Hettie Lynne Hurtes. I'm a lover of books of all kinds, fiction, nonfiction, but my all-time favorite continues to be Wuthering Heights, a classic by Emily Bronte, published in 1847 under her pen name Ellis Bell. It's so romantic, and I fell in love with the anti-hero Heathcliff right from the start as he strives to get revenge on those who've kept him away from his love, Cathy Earnshaw. It's considered a Gothic novel, but definitely not a horror story. It's beautifully written with words that transport you to the windswept Yorkshire moors of northern England. Everything about this novel is transportive. And although Hollywood has made a lovely adaptation for the screen, it just isn't the same as turning the pages of this captivating novel.
We'll have a list of everybody's favorite book at our website, bookclubforkids.org. And you can be on a future Book Club for Kids podcast. Just have your teacher, parent, or librarian send us an email to kitty@bookclubforkids.org, and we will send you all the information. That's kitty@bookclubforkids.org. Thanks this week to producer Chad Francis. Brandon Baker composed our theme with additional music from Andrew Walton. Emma Steinkeller designed our logo. Thanks to our writer, MC Ryder, and our celebrity reader, journalist and actress, Hettie Lynne Hurtes. And thanks to our readers this week, Seema, Yasmin, Ali, Sophia, and their librarian, Sabrina Guzman, from Rosecrans Elementary School in Compton, California. This episode is made possible by a grant from the LA County Department of Arts and Culture as part of Creative Recovery LA, an initiative funded by the American Rescue Plan. Thank you. We have a free newsletter for teachers, parents, and librarians full of free tips about how to turn kids into lifelong readers. And you can sign up at our website, bookclubforkids.org. And if you want to find a way to talk to your kids about the upcoming election, well, check out our other podcast, The Fina Mendoza Mysteries. It's an episodic podcast that follows the adventures of the 10-year-old daughter of a congressman who solves mysteries inside the U.S. Capitol and teaches civics along the way. There are teacher's guides, companion books, and a Facts Behind the Fiction blog, and you can find out more at the website, chesapeakepress.org. That's The Fina Mendoza Mysteries, winner of the 2024 Latino Book Awards. I'm Kitty Felde. Thanks so much for listening.